Monday, with the stroke of a pen, the lives of more than 100,000 Japanese Americans would never be the same. Executive Order 9066, signed back on February 19, 1942, created what many now refer to as incarceration camps, forcing our Japanese communities to leave their homes and leave their lives behind during World War II. You may not know this, but 2 of those camps are located right here in Arizona.
We were the face of the enemy.
In the middle of the Arizona desert lies the key to unlocking part of our state's history, America's history, a dark history most would like to forget. But for 91-year-old CHIZU OMORI and so many others, that's impossible.
It's only later that I could put all that into context and gain a better understanding of what happened to me, my family, my community.
Just days after her 12th birthday in 1942, CHIZU, her parents, and younger sister were forced to abandon their lives and board a train near their home in Oceanside, California, headed for an unknown future.
We didn't know where we were going. We didn't know how long we were going to be there.
It was here at the Post-and-War Relocation Center where CHIZU's family would start their new lives. In 1942, if you lived in a Western state and were at least 1/16th Japanese, you would have been forced to relocate to what the federal government called an internment camp or relocation center. But since then, groups like the Japanese American Citizens League have pushed back on those names and call them incarceration camps. More than 110,000 Japanese Americans were forced to leave their entire lives behind and move into one of these camps. But perhaps the most surprising of all was that roughly 2/3 of those Japanese Americans were U.S. citizens. There were 10 camps in all, mostly in western states, including 2 right here in Arizona. One was about 30 miles south of Phoenix in Pinal County. The other was in western Arizona in La Paz County. That's where CHIZU and her family were made to go with very little notice.
What were you allowed to even take?
Only what we could carry was the phrase.
But the sacrifices for CHIZU were just beginning.
It was kind of forced on us. If you want to integrate, then you have to dump your culture. That was, I think, the big lesson from what the government did to us, is that being Japanese was bad.
Adjusting to her new life was far from easy. CHIZU still remembers that first day in Block 22, Barrack 10.
We were kind of in survival mode at the very beginning. They were just giving us cots and canvas bags to fill with hay and straw. That was going to be our mattress.
Even basic things like going to the bathroom in private became a luxury.
The lack of privacy, I think, was the thing that maybe really got to a lot of people.
Did that feel like dehumanizing in any way?
Yeah, it was. There was a real disconnect from our former lives, and our lives in the camp.
Did you ever feel hopeless? I mean, did you ever feel like, I'm never going to get back to that life?
Yes, I did.
Now, both of the Arizona camps are located on tribal land. Due to ongoing pandemic concerns, we were not granted permission to go on site to film what is left of the camps. Now, coming up tomorrow on ABC 15 Mornings, you'll hear more from CHIZU. Plus, the moment she was convinced that she and her family would be sent back to Japan, forced to leave the country she had called home her entire life. That's tomorrow, right here on ABC 15 Mornings.